Hey guys, I just wanted to expand a little bit on the insulation part. Julie and I, we just did a little bit of the um, insulation. The reason why we did that, we just went through a couple of cold spells that were in the negatives, and I didn't really insulate this well. And I know my last video I'm talking about insulation, but when you get to that point, you really know what you need to do, and it's not about knowing what you need to do so much as actually going through and doing it. There's lots of different areas that you can insulate, and I bought enough of this material. As you can see behind me right here, it's Retroflex. I mean, it will work. It's not the best insulation. The reason why is because we're full-time in the RV, and you need something quick and convenient to put up around your major loss areas, and at your windows. Probably the first thing that you guys are gonna experience is you'll feel a lot of cold drafts around there. And also picked up the nifty little container to hold our stuff in, but as you can see, this caulking comes in use. It'll come in quite in handy because you can caulk around the inside of the windows and out if you need to. Make sure you get the outdoor, but I got the indoor kitchen type that'll work for around the windows. Some of you guys may disagree with that, but it'll work just fine. All you really want to do is seal the gap. That's about it. Get the draft out, not coming into your RV, especially when I sit here at night, maybe on the computer or whatever. One of my hands will go cold because of the draft here, and I found myself putting up a towel or whatever that was handy up by the windowsill because it's right next to this table here, and you'll feel a draft coming out of there. So I caulked all around the bottom. I haven't removed the rest of it, so I mean the rest of the window treatments, I guess you would call them, so that I could get around the windows, but we'll do that later. But for today or this afternoon, we got about I'd say about half the RV done with this Retroflex. Went out and got taller ones. There is a need for that, and um, I mean, other than just staying warm, you have a huge heat loss in the front of the RV, and it's very, very prevalent, especially in a Class A. We have a diesel pusher, so the engine is in the back. Up front, there's not really much up underneath there. And if you're thinking insulation, no, there is no insulation. All it is fiberglass. And like even our steps froze. Literally, there was ice on the steps leading out of the door out of here one year. And it wasn't due to condensation. Here in Colorado, we're very low humidity state, so it's not really condensating, and we do run the vent fan when we're cooking, at least most of the time. And of course, Julie has a lot of hot air. I know it can come from your breath, but I don't, not so much. That could accumulate as well, but we do crack the vents open quite often. And but anyway, irregardless, it's the water that you pick up from the snow out here in Colorado and walking in. I mean, you can't really undo your shoes and then carry them in unless you want wet socks coming in. So just stepping on the steps, and the whole point is it's not insulated up underneath yet. But most of the Class A's, I'm willing to bet it's pretty much the same. So some of this Retroflex is going to go up underneath. It's also going to go up underneath the cabinet or the storage doors that are down below on the outside, which I'm not going to show you right now, but that'll be another video. And just trying to keep, when the furnace does kick on, it does blow hot air down there, but if you don't have any way to try to contain it, so to speak, you don't really have anything. All it's going to do is just radiate out in a fairly quick fashion. But it's one of the things that we're doing, and I'll show you once we get it all trimmed up and set into place, that and then actually have some useful information to show you. I know this is going to work because it's going to be better than glass, just regular glass, and the curtain that I'm sure Julie hates pulling that out as much as I do. It just gets to be a pain, and it gives you really a false sense of security that you're actually creating a barrier. The only thing that you're really creating is a semi-light barrier. You can't really see in, but they can see your light coming out. So if you're boondocking, that is a problem because you could get noticed, so to speak. Not like you're stealth, but you could see light from the outside. With this stuff, the Retroflex, we got it at Lowe's. It's pretty expensive for what it is, but then again, for what it is, if it gives it its insulation value, if anything, if it adds more than the curtain that's in the front, it's going to do pretty good. And these shades, I know you can't see them, but they're the regular draw shades that I hate because they rattle when you go down the street. So those should, well, there's plans to redo those as curtains, insulated curtains, this summer. That'll help as well. What I don't like about this Retroflex is it basically, which is a no-brainer, it's going to turn the inside into night. So you're going to have to run all your LED lights, which if you watch my last video, then there's not too much worry on that because you're going to be running a lot less electricity. And doing so, just keeping it lit. And but anyway, when we get this all trimmed up, we kind of got it makeshift in place right now. And here, next week looks pretty good on the temperature, so I should be able to use what we're not going to use in here, inside, down below. And I also bought some more pipe insulation. You really want to cover, even though it's underneath in the Retroflex protected areas, so to speak. We do run a small heater downstairs by where the water pump is, because I've noticed here in the -9 that we had, what was it, about a week ago, that our tanks froze up again. Our hot water tank froze up first, but our cold water tank would still run and still pump and pressurize. So it's just keeping that area, it's kind of there, but it's kind of not. So putting this stuff down there, plus putting the pipe insulation and the heater, should fare us pretty well. I mean, there's not much you can expect in -9 or once you get down below negatives, because here this week, with it being hugging around 20 at night, dipping down in the teens, it's been perfectly fine. I've had the furnace set at 75, believe it or not, with 2 little small electric heaters. We've been pretty good, and that's without the Retroflex. So still, again, it's not that you can really get away with it without insulating your RV. It's just what you can gain from it. And I know that I could gain a heck of a lot more out of doing this than the way we were doing things before. And the reason why we didn't do it all that much for, because we were so mobile, doing 7 months of, and this is going to be another video. I know I've said it in my comments before, but there's so much to talk about. I haven't really formed all my thoughts on it. We're not right now, but we're plugged in right now. We were living in a Class A motorhome within the city limits for 7 months. We were boondocking, and that required us to move every other day. So you can't really skirt around the RV, because you'd really call yourself out. And you can't really put this Retroflex up if you're doing that, because you're going to call yourself out again. So my plans are for this is to get some black, like some black felt-like material, cover it, and with 3M spray adhesive, and then that way it doesn't look like you're living inside of a tinfoil hat. That's not cool. Either that or we'll get some fabric that has some designs on it that Julie likes, and then we can do it that way. But anyway, if you guys have more questions, we're 1 year into this, so we're still learning. I don't know everything. I may come off like I do, but I don't. And still learning and still progressing. And I don't think that either one of us want to give this up anytime soon. It's just too much freedom. You can take your home and go wherever you have the means to go. But feel free to comment or subscribe and comment, ask your questions. I can give my experience on my questions, or my experience in the past year to best answer your questions. I'm not so sure that I can give you the right answer for your particular situation, but I can certainly give you an answer on what we've faced in the past year boondocking. Yeah, it's not so cheap, but is it worth it? Yes, very much so. Talk to you later. Bye.